25 to 40 years. According to every calculation, it looks like somewhere between 25 to 40 years, this slide will become a tumble. When it becomes a tumble, we will not be able to do anything. It will be beyond our hands. Maybe it could wipe out a quarter of the population, or some people fear it could be 60% of the world's population would die once bioactivity in the soil starts tumbling down. We need to understand, when it comes to soil, when it comes to soil ecology, our national borders and boundaries mean nothing. These are human problems. We think we can cut the planet like a cake and take our own piece. For political and administrative purposes, we can divide the world. But these divisions are not absolute, because when it comes to soil, when it comes to biodiversity, when it comes to life, life is happening one global phenomenon. If we don't respect that, we will pay a huge price for this, which is very close. Every responsible scientist is clearly pointing out that in the next 25 to 30 years, there will be severe food shortages in the world. By 2045, it's expected our population will be 9.3 billion people, and we will be producing 40% less food. Right now, it doesn't look like that. India can even export wheat. That's how it looks. But when the biodiversity begins to tumble, things will change so rapidly, we won't be able to fix it. It's time now, as a generation of people, this is a great challenge that we face. At the same time, it's a great privilege that
तो दोस्तों ये है हमारे भोपाल का लालकर परेड ग्राउंड.
We are in that cusp of time that if we act now decisively with the necessary policy, we could be that generation which turned back from the brink of a disaster, or we could be that generation which swept through and went into the disaster. This is that type of a disaster. If the world walks into it, not many of us will come out of it. That is the kind of disaster it is.
Sure.
So, this is not fear-mongering, this is not doomsday talk, this is happening actively, but it is still in our hands to turn it around, and this is why the Save Soil movement, with a dynamic leader like Swagat, many things can be done, but the important thing is it must be implemented scientifically in a correct manner, because we need to understand there are many problems. There are issues of water, there are issues of air pollution, there are many issues. I'm not saying they are not of significance, but the soil issue must be separated from other issues, because raising the organic content in the soil is one aspect which has no position in the world. There is no industry against it. There is no organization against it. There is no lobby against it. Oil industry is not against it, automobile industry is not against it, coal industry is not against it, fertilizer industry, pesticide, herbicide industry is not against it. Nobody is against it. So it's very important that we separate the soil issue, because this is not an issue of discomfort. This is an issue of existential significance. How many of us, or the next generation, how many of them will see 2050? How many of them will see 2060? This will be determined by what we do right now with soil. And this is not rocket science, nor does it need enormous financial outlays. It just needs a determined effort doing the right things, reviving the soil. Where is the problem? Well, whenever we say anything concerned with environment or ecology, there are a whole lot of activists out on the street. Like I said just now, this one girl who is a climate activist goes and throws a cake at Mona Lisa. You heard of Mona Lisa? A smiling woman. I don't know why they're against her, but unfortunately they are busy throwing something or the other at someone else's race. This is not religion versus religion. This is one thing that is a unifying factor. We have found so many ways to divide humanity. Nationality, race, religion, caste, creed, gender, hundreds of ways as to how we are different. But when there are so many different when this is our condition, is it not very, very important that we find a common denominator? There are common factors among us. Soil is that common factor. Whatever is your race, whatever is your religion, whatever is your nationality, whatever is your gender, we all come from the soil. We all thrive and eat out of the soil. When we die, we go back to the same soil. It is very important. We need common factors like this, and soil is definitely that common factor. If you do not understand what is this all-unifying cosmic consciousness, at least you understand this, that we come from soil, we live upon soil, and when we die, we go back to soil. The question is only, so I request, beseech
तो
the
दोस्तों ये था वीडियो लाल भोपाल से। सदगुरु आज भोपाल आए थे। 9 जून को शाम को 6 बजे से कार्यक्रम था और अब यहाँ पे विदा लेते हैं, सभी से चलते हैं बाहर स्टेडियम के। ये पीछे अभी कार्यक्रम चालू है और सबसे मेन कार्यक्रम की एक सबसे पॉइंट वाली बात ये है कि इसमें वीआईपी पास थे, तो जो वीआईपी पास इनके पास थे वो आ गए थे और अब मैं जा रहा हूँ, तो सभी से विदा, बाय बाय सभी को। पीछे जो पूरी भीड़ है ये सदगुरु के दर्शनों के लिए आई थी, क्योंकि आज सदगुरु का कार्यक्रम था भोपाल में, मिट्टी बचाओ आंदोलन।
In one region, Northern Europe, is 1.48%. Nowhere is it minimum 3%. We have